This one is one of my favorite calculus topics, u-substitution, integration by u-substitution. So what exactly is this, okay? This is going to be your anti-chain rule, okay? This is how you undo a derivative that was taken by the chain rule and integrate it, okay? So let's talk about what's going on here. First, let me give you an example. Let's say I'm dealing with the integral of x times sine of x squared. Okay, this is going to be the example we're dealing with, and I'm going to explain what u-substitution is as we solve this, okay? So u-substitution, as the name might imply, is we need to find something that we're going to identify as u, okay? So the criteria to use u-substitution is you need to be able to look at your integral, and you need to be able to find a function and its derivative, okay? Both of those need to be present in your integral, okay? In this case, I'm seeing x squared, and I'm seeing an x, and I know that the derivative of x squared equals 2x, okay? When we're looking for function derivative pairs, we don't need to worry about this constant right here. We don't need to worry about any constant multiples. I just want to see the bare bones function. If that is present, and only if that is present, then we can continue with our u-substitution. And I'm going to cover why the presence of this constant doesn't matter in just a moment. But first, let's proceed with our integral. So u, what I'm going to define u as is I'm going to say u equals x squared, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say du by dx, the derivative of u with respect to x, means I just take the derivative of this side, equals 2x, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and isolate dx. So I'm going to multiply both sides by dx. I'm going to get du equals 2x dx, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 2x. So I'm going to get du over 2x equals dx, okay? So now that I've done this little bit of work, now I have everything I need to perform my substitution. I need this, and I need this. And I'm going to take my integral, and I'm going to rewrite it down here, and I'm going to substitute in everything. I have the integral of x times sine of, remember, we're substituting x squared for u, so now this becomes sine of u. And we're going to substitute out our dx for this item, du all over 2x, okay? And if you look at what we have here in our integral, we have an x and we have an x in our denominator. So these are going to be able to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with, if I pull my 1/2 over here, the integral of 1/2 sine of u du, okay? This 1/2 constant multiple, I can just pull it right out of my integral sign. So you see here, even though I know that the derivative of x squared is 2x, I can still say that the derivative is present, because if I were to demand that it be exactly the same, what I can do is I can multiply my integral by 1. But I'm going to multiply it by 1 in the form of 2 over 2, okay? And if I want a 2x inside my integral, I'm going to split up this 2 over 2 into a 1/2 on the outside and a 2 on the inside, okay? Remember, I just multiplied the integral by 1. I didn't change the integral at all. I put 2 in the inside, I put 1/2 on the outside. So if I pull my 2 back outside, it's still a 1 out here. In this case, my 2x is now still present, and I can perform the u-substitution the same way, and you see that my 1/2 right here is the same as the 1/2 that I brought out right here, okay? Now we have our integral in terms of u, and this is a much easier integral to solve. The integral of sine is negative cosine, and we can say that this equals 1/2 times negative cosine of u, okay? This is an indefinite integral, so we're going to add our plus c. If you want to watch the video we have on indefinite integrals, that's going to be linked up right there in the top right of your screen. And now we have our integral, but wait a minute. we still have it in terms of u. We want it in terms of x. So we're going to resubstitute x squared back into our integral, equals 1/2 times negative cosine of x squared plus c. And this now is our final answer, okay? Now what we need to do is, we did an example with an indefinite integral. Now we need to do an example with a definite integral, okay? So let's do the integral from 0 to pi of sine x multiplied by cosine x dx, okay? So this is going to be our definite integral. We have bounds here, okay? But the key thing to remember is that these bounds are in terms of x. We are integrating from x equals 0 up to x equals pi. And you're going to see why that's significant once we do our u-substitution. So let's ask the question again. Do I see a function and its derivative present? What's the derivative of sine? It's cosine. Oh, okay, so that checks out. I have a function and its derivative. I'm going to take u and I'm going to set it equal to sine x. And I'm going to take du over dx, and that's going to be my cosine x. I'm going to isolate dx, and it's going to be dx equals du over cosine x. And now I have the two components that I need to perform the substitution. I'm going to rewrite my integral down here, x equals 0 to x equals pi of sine x, and we want to replace this with u, so it's going to be u times cosine x times dx, which we're going to replace with du all over cosine x. You're going to notice these cancel, and we are going to be left with the integral from x equals 0 to x equals pi of u du. Okay, now that we're at this point, we've completed our u substitution. Now our integrand is in terms of u and du. We have two options to proceed forward with this, okay? I'm going to show you option 1, which I prefer, and I'm going to show you option 2, which I think a lot of teachers prefer, okay? So option 1 is you can leave the integral as is, and you can say that this antiderivative is going to be u squared over 2 plus c, okay? And you're going to evaluate this from x equals pi at the top, x equals 0 at the bottom. Then we're going to take our u and we're going to substitute back for our function of x. This is going to be sine squared x over 2 plus c. And we know how to evaluate definite integrals. We evaluate the integral at x equals 0, we evaluate it at x equals pi, we subtract the two. So sine of pi is 0. 0 squared is 0. So we have 0 minus sine of 0 again is 0. So our definite integral evaluates to 0. Okay? Option 2 is, now that we're here, we're going to put our bounds in terms of u. Okay? But remember, we said u equals sine x. Okay? So we're going to take u equals, we're going to call it u1, equals sine of our first bound, sine of pi equals 0. u2 equals sine of our lower bound, sine of 0 also equals 0. Okay? So now what we can do is we can rewrite this integral as the integral from 0 to 0 of u du. Okay? And you would continue here and you would evaluate u squared over 2 from 0 to 0, okay? In this example, both your bounds are the same, so you don't need to do any algebra. You know that since both the bounds are the same, the whole integral must evaluate to 0. But if these two bounds were different, let's just say for example purposes that I plugged in and I got 2 as my top bound, what you would then do is you would evaluate this just like you would any other definite integral. I would do 2 squared over 2 minus 0 squared over 2, okay? So what you can do is either you can replace u back into your function of x and use your original bounds, or you can put your bounds in terms of u and evaluate your function in terms of u. In this example, you'll notice that we never replaced u back with x. We kept everything in terms of u. I think this is easier. Some teachers would prefer that you only do this method. Okay, it depends on how your teacher teaches your class. Anyway, that has been u-substitution. If you found this valuable, if you can, leave a like. And if you want extra help, you can go to meekextrahelp.com or you can join the Discord server. Either way, have a fantastic day.